Athena or Athene, often given the epithet Pallas, is the goddess of wisdom, courage, inspiration, civilization, law and justice, mathematics, strength, war strategy, the arts, crafts, and skill in ancient Greek religion and mythology. Minerva is the Roman goddess identified with Athena. Athena is known for her calm temperament, as she moves slowly to anger. She is noted to have only fought for just reasons, and would not fight without a purpose. Athena is portrayed as a shrewd companion of heroes and is the patron goddess of heroic endeavor. She is the virgin patroness of Athens. The Athenians founded the Parthenon on the Acropolis of her namesake city, Athens, in her honor. Veneration of Athena was so persistent that archaic myths about her were recast to adapt to cultural changes. In her role as a protector of the city, many people throughout the Greek world worshipped Athena as Athena Pallas. While the city of Athens and the goddess Athena essentially bear the same name, it is not known which of the two words is derived from the other. Etymology of the name and origins of her cult. Athena is associated with Athens, a plural name, because it was the place where she presided over her sisterhood, the Athenae, in earliest times. Mycenae was the city where the goddess was called Mycon, and Mycenae is named in the plural for the sisterhood of females who tended her there. At Thebes she was called Thebe, and the city again a plural, Thebe. Similarly, at Athens she was called Athena, and the city Athene. Athena had a special relationship with Athens, as is shown by the etymological connection of the names of the goddess and the city. According to mythical lore, she competed with Poseidon and she won by creating the olive tree. The Athenians would accept her gift and name the city after her. In history, the citizens of Athens built a statue of Athena as a temple to the goddess, which had piercing eyes, a helmet on her head, attired with an aegis or cuirass, and an extremely long spear. It also had a crystal shield with the head of the Gorgon on it. A large snake accompanied her and she held Nike, the goddess of victory, in her hand. In a Mycenaean fresco, there is a composition of two women extending their hands towards a central figure who is covered by an enormous figure-8 shield and could also depict the war goddess with her palladium, or her palladium in an aniconic representation. Therefore, Milanus believes that Athena was a Mycenaean creation. On the other hand, Nielsen claims that she was the goddess of the palace who protected the king, and that the origin of Athena was the Minoan domestic snake goddess. In the so-called procession fresco in Knossos, which was reconstructed by the Mycenaeans, two rows of figures carrying vessels seem to meet in front of a central figure, which is probably the Minoan palace goddess, Artano. In Mycenaean Greek, at Knossos a single inscription Athena Potenia, Athena appears in the Linear B tablets from the late Minoan era room of the Chariot tablets. These comprise the earliest Linear B archive anywhere. Although Athena Potnia often is translated Mistress of Athena, it literally means the Potnia of Artana, which perhaps means the Lady of Athens. Any connection to the city of Athens in the Knossos inscription is uncertain. We also find Atano Djuyar in Linear A Minoan, the final part being regarded as the Linear A Minoan equivalent of the Linear B Mycenaean Diyar or Diyar. Divine Athena also was a weaver and the deity of crafts. Whether her name is attested in Eteocretan or not will have to wait for decipherment of Linear A. Apart from these Creto-Greek attributions, Gunther Newman has suggested that Athena's name is possibly of Lydian origin. It may be a compound word derived in part from Tyrrhenian ati, meaning mother, and the name of the Huron goddess Anna shortened in various places to Anna. In his dialogue Cratylus, the Greek philosopher Plato gives the etymology of Athena's name, based on the views of the ancient Athenians and his own etymological speculations. That is a graver matter, and there, my friend, the modern interpreters of Homer may, I think, assist in explaining the view of the ancients. For most of these in their explanations of the poet, assert that he meant by Athena, mind, nous, and intelligence, dianoia, and the maker of names appears to have had a singular notion about her, and indeed calls her by a still higher title, divine intelligence, theta epsilon omicron nu omicron eta sigma iota sigma theonoesis, as though he would say, this is she who has the mind of God. Perhaps, however, the name Theano may mean, she who knows divine things better than others. Nor shall we be far wrong in supposing that the author of it wished to identify this goddess with moral intelligence, and therefore gave her the name Euphranor, which, however, either he or his successors have altered into what they thought a nicer form, and called her Athena. Plato, Cratylus, 407b. Thus for Plato her name was to be derived from Greek theta epsilon omicron nu omicron alpha, Athena, which the later Greeks rationalized as from the deity's mind. Plato also noted that the citizens of Sais in Egypt worshipped a goddess whose Egyptian name was Neith, and which was identified with Athena. Neith was the war goddess and huntress deity of the Egyptians since the ancient pre-dynastic period, who was also identified with weaving. In addition, ancient Greek myths reported that Athena had visited many mythological places such as Libya's Triton River in North Africa and the Phlegrean Plain. Scholar Martin Bernal created the controversial Black Athena theory to explain this associated origin by claiming that the conception of Neith was brought to Greece from Egypt, along with an enormous number of features of civilization and culture in the 3rd and 2nd millennia. The connection with Neith was later rejected by other scholars in view of formal difficulties. R.S. P. Beeks has suggested a pre-Greek origin of the name. Some authors believe that, in early times, Athena was either an owl herself or a bird goddess in general. In the 3rd book of the Odyssey, she takes the form of a sea eagle. These authors argue that she dropped her prophylactic owl mask before she lost her wings. Athena, by the time she appears in Jane Ellen Harrison had remarked, has completely shed her animal form, has reduced the shapes she once wore of snake and bird to attributes, but occasionally in black figure vase paintings she still appears with wings. Some Greek authors have derived natural symbols from the etymological roots of Athena's names to be ether, air, earth, and moon. This was one of the primary developments of scholarly exploration in the ancient world. Miriam Robbins Dexter has suggested that, at least at some point in her history, Athena has been a solar deity. Athena bears traits common with Indo-European solar goddesses, such as the possession of a mirror and the invention of weaving, and her association with Medusa adds solar iconography to her cultus. Additionally, she is also equated with the Celtic Sulis, a deity whose name is derived from the common Proto-Indo-European root for many solar deities. Though the sun in Greek myth is personified as the male Helios, several relictual solar goddesses are known, such as Electrona. Cult and patronages. Athena as the goddess of philosophy became an aspect of her cult in classical Greece during the late 5th century BC. She is the patroness of various crafts, especially of weaving, as Athena Ergan, and was honored as such at festivals such as Chalchaea. The metalwork of weapons also fell under her patronage. She led battles as the disciplined, strategic side of war, in contrast to her brother Ares, the patron of violence, bloodlust and slaughter, the raw force of war. Athena is the goddess of knowledge, purity, arts, crafts, learning, justice and wisdom. She represents intelligence, humility, consciousness, cosmic knowledge, creativity, education, enlightenment, the arts, eloquence and power. She stands for truth, justice, and moral values. She plays a tough, clever and independent role. Not only was this version of Athena the opposite of Ares in combat, it was also the polar opposite of the serene earth goddess version of the deity, Athena Polias. Athena appears in Greek mythology as the patron and helper of many heroes, including Odysseus, Jason, and Heracles. In classical Greek myths, she never consorts with a lover, nor does she ever marry, earning the title Athena Parthenos. A remnant of archaic myth depicts her as the adoptive mother of Erechtheus, Erichthonius, through the foiled rape by Hephaestus. Other variants relate that Erichthonius, the serpent that accompanied Athena, was born to Gaia. When the rape failed, the semen landed on Gaia and impregnated her. After Erichthonius was born, Gaia gave him to Athena. Though Athena is a goddess of war strategy, she disliked fighting without purpose and preferred to use wisdom to settle predicaments. The goddess only encouraged fighting for a reasonable cause or to resolve conflict. She emphasizes everyone to use intuitive wisdom rather than anger or violence. As patron of Athens, she fought in the Trojan War on the side of the Achaeans. Attributes and epithets. Athena's epithets include Alpha Tau Rho Upsilon Tau Omega Nu Eta, Atritone, Pi Alpha Rho Theta Epsilon Nu Omicron Sigma, Parthenos, and Pi Rho Omicron Mu Alpha K Omicron Sigma, Primachos. In poetry from Homer, an oral tradition of the 8th or 7th century BC onward, Athena's most common epithet is Glaucopus, which usually is translated as bright-eyed or with gleaming eyes. The word is a combination of glaucos and ops. It is interesting to note that glaucs is from the same root, presumably according to some, because of the bird's own distinctive eyes. The bird which sees well in the night is closely associated with the goddess of wisdom. In archaic images, Athena is frequently depicted with an owl perched on her hand. This pairing evolved in tandem so that even today the owl is a symbol of perspicacity and erudition. Unsurprisingly, the owl became a sort of Athenian mascot. The olive tree is likewise sacred to her. In earlier times, Athena may well have been a bird goddess, similar to the unknown goddess depicted with owl's wings and bird talons on the Burney relief, a Mesopotamian terracotta relief of the early 2nd millennium BC. Other epithets include Aethia, under which she was worshipped in Megara. The word Aethia signifies a diver, and figuratively, a ship, so the name must reference Athena teaching the art of shipbuilding or navigation. In a temple at Phrygia in Elis, which was reportedly built by Clymenus, she was known as Cydonia. The various Athena subgroups, or cults, all branching from the central goddess herself, often proctored various initiation rites of Grecian youth. For example, the passage into citizenship by young men, and for women the elevation to the status of citizen wife. Her various cults were portals of a uniform socialization, even beyond mainland Greece. In the Iliad, the Homeric hymns, and in Hesiod's Theogony, Athena is given the curious epithet Tritogeneia. The meaning of this term is unclear. It could mean various things, including Triton-born, perhaps indicating that the sea deity was her parent according to some early myths. In Ovid's Metamorphoses, Athena is occasionally referred to as Tritonia. Another possible meaning may be triple-born or third-born, which may refer to a triad or to her status as the third daughter of Zeus, or the fact she was born from Metis, Zeus, and herself. Various legends list her as being the first child after Artemis and Apollo, though other legends identify her as Zeus, her first child. The latter would have to be drawn from classical myths, however, rather than earlier ones. In her role as judge at Orest's trial on the murder of his mother, Clytemnestra, Athena won the epithet Areia. Other epithets were Agelaia and Tritonia. Athena was given many other cult titles. She has the epithet Ergan as the patron of craftsmen and artisans. With the epithet Parthenos, she was especially worshipped in the festivals of the Panathenaea and Pamboiotia, where both militaristic and athletic displays took place. With the epithet Primachos, she led in battle. With the epithet Polias, Athena was the protector of not only Athens but also of many other cities, including Argos, Sparta, Gortyn, Lindos, and Larissa. She was given the epithet Hippia, as the inventor of the chariot, and was worshipped under this title at Athens, Tegea and Olympia. As Athena Hippia she was given an alternative parentage, Poseidon and Polypha, daughter of Oceanus. In each of these cities her temple frequently was the major temple on the Acropolis. Athena often was equated with Aphia, a local goddess of the island of Aegina, located near Athens. Once Aegina was under Athenians' power. The Greek historian Plutarch also refers to an instance during the Parthenons' construction of her being called Athena Hygeia. A strange accident happened in the course of building, which showed that the goddess was not averse to the work, but was aiding and cooperating to bring it to perfection. One of the artificers, the quickest and the handiest workman among them all, with a slip of his foot fell down from a great height, and lay in a miserable condition, the physicians having no hope of his recovery. When Pericles was in distress about this, the goddess, Athena, appeared to him at night in a dream, and ordered a course of treatment, which he applied, and in a short time and with great ease cured the man. And upon this occasion it was that he set up a brass statue of Athena Hygeia, in the citadel near the altar, which they say was there before. But it was Phidias who wrought the goddess's image in gold, and he has his name inscribed on the pedestal as the workman of it. In classical times the Plinteria, or Feast of Adorning, was observed every May. It was a festival lasting 5 days. During this period the priestesses of Athena, or Plintrides, performed a cleansing ritual within the Erechtheum, the personal sanctuary of the goddess. Here Athena's statue was undressed, her clothes washed, and body purified. In Arcadia, she was assimilated with the ancient goddess Alia and worshipped as Athena Alia.